Welcome back, Lincoln Currency, to the channel, coin enthusiasts and collectors. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the Lincoln cent, specifically the 1991 1-cent coin, a tiny copper-clad disc that some say is worth millions. We're going to explore the history, the facts, the myths, and the real market value of the 1991 Lincoln penny. This is not just another video about rare coins. This is a deep dive, long-form investigation into what makes a coin potentially valuable, what rumors have been circulating about the 1991 cent, and whether there is any truth behind the astronomical claim of a $767 million valuation. Sit tight, grab a coffee, and prepare to enter the intricate, sometimes confusing, but always intriguing world of numismatics. First, let's start with the basics. The 1991 Lincoln cent is part of the Lincoln Memorial series that began in 1959, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This design by Frank Gasparo replaced the earlier wheat cent reverse. The obverse still bore the iconic bust of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which had debuted in 1909. By 1991, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for over 80 years, and the memorial reverse had been around for more than 3 decades. In that year, the United States Mint produced the penny in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Philadelphia bore no mint mark, while those from Denver had the D mint mark, and proof coins from San Francisco carried the S mint mark. In terms of mintage numbers, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 6.1 billion pennies, while Denver produced just over 4.2 billion. San Francisco's proof production was limited to around 2.8 million coins. Clearly, in sheer numbers, none of these coins are rare in the conventional sense. But as every seasoned collector knows, rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about how many survive in top condition, and more importantly, if there are any unusual variants, errors, or anomalies that make a specific coin stand out from the crowd. Now, let's move to the concept of value. A typical 1991 penny found in your pocket change today is worth exactly 1 cent. However, if that penny is in brilliant uncirculated condition, that means no signs of wear, perfect luster, and flawless surfaces, it could fetch a small premium. For example, a mint state 1991 cent, graded MS65 or MS66 by a service like PCGS or NGC, might be worth anywhere from 10 cents to a couple of dollars. These are collector-grade coins, and only coins with perfect or nearly perfect surfaces, sharp strikes, and no bagged marks qualify. On the high end of the spectrum, 1991 pennies graded MS67 or higher are much rarer. Fewer of these survive because even slight mishandling at the mint or in the distribution process can prevent a coin from reaching that grade. A 1991 D penny graded MS67 RD by PCGS, for example, has sold in the past for hundreds of dollars, possibly even over 1,000, depending on the market and the specific population report at the time. A 1991 no mint mark Lincoln cent in MS67 RD condition might command a similar price. But we are still talking hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars, not millions. This brings us to the persistent online rumor or myth that a 1991 penny, some versions say a 1991 D, others a 1991 S, is worth $767 million. This figure pops up occasionally on clickbait websites, social media memes, and sensationalist videos designed to generate traffic and add revenue rather than provide real numismatic insight. Let's address this directly. There is no known 1991 Lincoln cent, from any mint, that has ever sold for, been appraised at, or has any legitimate reason to be worth $767 million. That number is not based in reality. It is most likely derived from a misinterpretation of an error coin listing or perhaps a fraudulent post created to draw in uninformed viewers. In the entire history of coin auctions, the most expensive coin ever sold, the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, fetched around $18.9 million in 2021. That was a one-of-a-kind gold coin with a controversial legal history and immense collector demand. The idea that a mass-produced modern cent from 1991 would be worth 40 times that is simply unfounded. However, where things get more interesting, and slightly more plausible, is in the area of mint errors. The US Mint, while extremely efficient, is not immune to mistakes. Coins can be struck off center, double struck, struck on the wrong planchet, missing elements, or show die breaks and other abnormalities. These mint errors can elevate the value of otherwise common coins substantially, especially if the error is dramatic, rare, and authenticated by a reputable grading company. There are known 1991 Lincoln cents with such errors. For instance, off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the blank planchet wasn't aligned properly, can be worth $25 to $150 depending on severity and condition. Double strikes or coins struck on dime planchets, making them smaller and more silver in appearance, are rarer and can command hundreds. A particularly impressive error coin could fetch a few $1,000s at auction. But again, we are nowhere near the $767 million mark. So why do these wild claims persist? One answer is the viral nature of the internet. A single misleading article or doctored photo can spread like wildfire, picked up by algorithm-driven websites and passed along on forums, Facebook pages, and YouTube channels. These posts often use terms like, "Most valuable penny, you might have one," or "Check your change," and show a photo of a completely different coin. Viewers are led to believe that an ordinary 1991 penny could secretly make them a millionaire. It's a dream many want to believe, and scammers take advantage of that. Let's also look at the historical context. In 1982, the US Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a predominantly zinc coin with a thin copper plating. That means that a 1991 penny is mostly zinc. Earlier copper pennies, particularly those pre-1982, can be slightly more desirable to collectors and metal hoarders. But again, this is marginal value. Even high-grade 1982 coppers don't fetch huge premiums unless they're rare varieties. Some special varieties, such as the 1992 close AM or 1999 wide AM errors, are valuable because of a change in the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse. If such a variety were to exist for 1991 and be authenticated, that could create a premium coin. But as of now, no such widely recognized reverse variety exists for the 1991 cent. The 1991 S-proof penny, produced in San Francisco, is a beautiful mirror-finish coin intended for collectors. These proofs, when graded PR69 DCM or PR70 DCM, can fetch $5 to $25 in the market. The highest grade, PR70, is quite scarce but not impossible to find. Even so, a 1991 S in perfect proof condition does not crack even the $100 mark in most cases. The market just isn't there for mass-produced modern proofs, unless there is a dramatic error or variety involved. Now, let's touch on coin grading. Grading is the process of evaluating a coin's condition, and it plays a critical role in determining value. Coins are typically graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. MS, mint state, is used for uncirculated coins, and PR or PF, proof, is used for proof coins. When it comes to the 1991 cent, a coin graded MS70RD would be considered extremely rare, practically unheard of, and could fetch a significant premium if it appeared at auction. But even in such a case, based on historical sales data, we are still likely talking thousands, not millions. So where does that leave us? The bottom line is this: the 1991 Lincoln cent is a fascinating piece of American coinage history. It's part of a long-running and beloved series. It's affordable, accessible, and has a few collectible variants. But it is not, under any legitimate numismatic standard, worth $767 million. If you have a 1991 penny, it's worth inspecting. You could find a mint error, or maybe a coin in pristine condition worth grading. But if you're seeing videos or articles telling you that your common 1991 penny is secretly worth more than a Picasso painting or an entire NFL team, be cautious. Always do your research, consult trusted sources like PCGS, NGC, and reputable auction houses, and don't fall for the hype. Collecting coins should be fun, educational, and perhaps a little profitable, but it should never be driven by viral myths. That's why it's so important to stay informed, stay curious, and always question the sources of sensational claims. Thanks for watching, and if you learned something new today about the 1991 penny or want more deep dives into coin history, rare errors, grading, or modern myths, be sure to stick around for more. Happy collecting, and don't forget to check your change, because sometimes the real treasure is not the coin itself, but the story it tells. Have you ever taken a close look at the pennies lying around your house? You might have one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history without even knowing it. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1994 Lincoln cent, a seemingly ordinary coin that's taken the coin collecting world by storm due to various rumors and rare errors. Some people even believe a version of this coin could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Whether that's fact or fiction, one thing is clear: the 1994 Lincoln penny deserves your attention. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design has seen changes, the materials have changed, and countless varieties and mint errors have been discovered. The year 1994 might not initially sound like a remarkable one for the Lincoln penny. But dig deeper, and you'll uncover a web of collector intrigue, fascinating mint errors, production quirks, and valuation myths that continue to mystify both novice and expert coin collectors alike. So, let's talk about the 1994 penny itself. In 1994, the U.S. Mint struck pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint struck the most, with over 6.5 billion coins minted. Denver followed with over 7 billion, and San Francisco produced just under 3 million. But these were proof coins, intended for collectors and not regular circulation. The 1994 D penny is generally considered common. However, like many other modern-era coins, there are error variants that collectors eagerly seek out. Some of these errors include double die obverse, where the image or date appears slightly doubled, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These types of errors can dramatically increase the value of a penny depending on the severity and clarity of the flaw. But here's where things get especially interesting. Rumors have circulated online and in collector forums that a specific 1994 penny, either due to a misprint, an experimental minting process, or an unconfirmed error, could be worth up to $767 million. Now, let's be clear, no coin has ever sold for that much. The most expensive coin ever sold was the 1933 Double Eagle, which fetched about $18.9 million at auction in 2021. So how did this number, $767 million, become associated with a 1994 penny? Most likely, this rumor stems from viral misinformation, clickbait titles, or hoaxes meant to generate attention. Someone may have listed a coin on an auction site for a ridiculous price as a joke, or as a placeholder, and the number was picked up and passed along without verification. It's crucial to approach these extraordinary claims with a healthy dose of skepticism. Still, the possibility of owning a rare variant of a common coin remains alluring, and that's part of the mystique. Back to reality. What are the actual high values we're seeing for legitimate 1994 Lincoln cents on the collector's market? Well, uncirculated 1994 D and 1994 no mint mark pennies in mint state, MS65 or higher, can sell for a few dollars, maybe $5 to $20 depending on the condition, luster, and eye appeal. However, coins with verified and dramatic errors, like a double die obverse, a major off-center strike, or a transitional metal composition, can sell for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars if authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Let's talk about the 1994 S-proof penny. These coins were not intended for circulation and were only included in proof sets. Because of their pristine condition and mirror-like finish, they're already more valuable than their face value. A perfect PR70 DCM example of a 1994 S penny, graded as a flawless proof, can fetch $50 to $100 or more depending on demand. Lower grade proofs sell for less, but still more than face value. Now, There's another important factor when determining a coin's value: the coin's grade. Coin grading is a complex and detailed process where professional graders assess the condition of a coin based on wear, strike quality, luster, and eye appeal. The scale runs from 1 to 70, with MS 70 or PR 70 being considered a perfect coin. Only a small fraction of coins ever receive such a high grade. The difference between an MS 66 and an MS 67 coin can be the difference between a $20 coin and a $200 coin. Let's say you think you found a special 1994 penny. Maybe it looks a little off, or maybe it seems shinier or heavier. What should you do? First, check for known error types. Look for any doubling in the lettering or the date. Check both sides of the coin. Look for signs of misalignment, die cracks, or planchet errors. Compare your coin to high-resolution images available online from trusted coin collectors or services. If it appears to have something special, you can send it to a coin grading service for authentication. Authentication is key when it comes to valuable coins. Without it, buyers are wary and prices drop significantly. But once a coin is slabbed, that is, sealed in a certified holder by PCGS or NGC, it can be sold through auctions, online marketplaces, or coin shows for its full market value. This makes the difference between a penny you can spend at the store and a penny you can sell for hundreds, or maybe even thousands, of dollars. Now let's revisit the urban legends. Despite what you might have read on social media, there is no official record of any 1994 penny being worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's not to say extremely valuable coins don't exist. On the contrary, coin collecting is full of surprises. Rare varieties, such as the 1943 copper penny, which was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet during the war years, have fetched over $1 million. So the dream of finding a life-changing coin in your change jar isn't entirely far-fetched. It just probably won't be a 1994 penny worth $767 million. That said, let's entertain the idea for a moment. What would make a 1994 penny worth such an astronomical amount? Well, hypothetically, if a coin had some historical anomaly, such as being made from a discontinued metal, or having a misprinted face design never meant for circulation, and only 1 or 2 examples existed, then the value could rise into the millions, though likely not the hundreds of millions. Another possibility could be celebrity provenance. If a famous historical figure once owned the coin, or it played a role in a major historical event, collectors might pay a premium. Coin collecting is about more than just face value. It's about history, rarity, condition, and the stories we tell about the coins we hold. Every coin has a story, and the 1994 penny is no different. Whether you're holding onto a piece of modern minting history or just a common coin with a nice shine, the fascination remains. Even if the $767 million price tag is fiction, the thrill of the hunt is very real. And who knows? Maybe your coin isn't the one worth hundreds of millions, but it might be worth hundreds or even thousands more than you expect. So the next time you come across a penny, especially one from 1994, take a second look. Examine it carefully. Who knows what kind of treasure you might be holding? Whether it's a rare mint error, a proof coin, or just a beautifully preserved piece of history, there's a story waiting to be discovered. Keep collecting, keep learning, and never stop searching, because the next big find could be hiding in your very own pocket. And remember, while most 1994 pennies will only ever be worth 1 cent, the journey of discovering what's truly rare is part of the fun. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out, your fortune might be hiding in plain sight.